And it's Kraetzer from Wiesbaden, Germany for CaMMVetsMedia, wrapping up the 2025 Land Euro Conference by the Association of the U.S. Army. By all measures, a successful inaugural event. We just talked to General Les Smith, one of the officials of AUSA, and he's ecstatic about this. I think the whole AUSA team is very pleased with being able to run a successful event in Europe. They've done events in Hawaii, which is almost as far, certainly from Washington or New York, but being able to get the direct support of the U.S. Army, quite a number of U.S. Army officials and officers and NCOs attended. Also some young officers who went to kind of a training session for the event. And the NATO leaders who were here, 32 countries of NATO, and then also 80 total countries here. Talked to an Army officer from Nigeria and quite a few other countries that participated and observed. Kind of the key thing is the unity of the 32 countries in NATO. They consider the EU a partner, but they have now they made a commitment to increasing their defense spending to 5% of gross national product by 2035. And but then also the adversaries were defined very clearly. A lot of discussion of the Russian-Ukraine war, China, North Korea sending troops to serve with Russia in Ukraine, and concern about how North Korea is being paid back, possibly with technology, to aid their missile programs. And of course, Iran had their nuclear facilities attacked by the United States. So it was really a lot on that, a lot happening, a lot of concerns, but unity amongst the 32 nations of NATO and working with the U.S. as a partner. Under U.S. leadership, we met the new Supreme Allied Commander for NATO, also commander of all U.S. forces in Europe, and that is an Air Force officer, Alexis Graybarevich, and also Chris Donahue, the head of the U.S. Army for Europe, General Chris Donahue, and also it's the Europe and Africa Command. Our friend from West Point, General Williams, was in that position. He just retired from the Army late last year. And so a lot on development of technology. Drones was obviously a big subject, and the innovativeness of Ukraine. The U.S. Army is training Ukraine soldiers, pulling them offline for a couple of weeks at a time to train with them, and finding out they're learning as much from the soldiers from Ukraine as they're able to teach and coach those soldiers from Ukraine who have tremendous motivation based on defending their homelands. So a excellent conference. Talked with Dr. John Nagel, who is a former U.S. Army armor officer, now teaches at the Army War College, and he's very concerned about that we're really already in a world war, but it's hopefully a Cold War, except for Ukraine, which of course is a terrible conflict going on today. General Chris Donahue, in his closing remarks, point out the need to build the eastern flank deterrence of NATO. And we heard from an Army officer from Poland and how closely they're working with the United States. I've heard from some West Point graduates about their time in Poland. One someone from the Army football team told me about going to Poland and sleeping in tents for 6 months from winter to summer. But that's what it takes sometimes. And there was a lot of compliments about the Polish military, how strong they have become, and our great partners with the U.S. military. So we're going to wrap up. We'll have some more notes, and we have some video sessions and special interviews that we did on our YouTube page. So I'm very appreciative of the Association of the U.S. Army inviting me to attend this. We've covered a number of their events this year. Actually, this is our 5th event this year, and it's great just to see the professionalism and the commitment of the Association of the U.S. Army and the way they work to support the U.S. Army and the U.S. military and our allies around the world. So we'll sign off from Wiesbaden. We'll be getting home in about a week, and I'll have more reports from West Point as we'll have the return of the freshman class from basic training and start of school year and start of Army football training camp, which we'll look forward to as Army football goes to defend their championship last year in the American Athletic Conference. Still undefeated, they want to stay that way. So lots to look forward to. So we'll sign off from Wiesbaden, Germany at the Association of the U.S. Army Land Euro Conference. This is Ken Kraetzer for CaMMVetsMedia. We cover cadets, midshipmen, the military, and veterans proudly since 2008. Thanks for watching.